Hey everybody, Glenn here to talk about H-Hour. You've heard me talk a lot about it on the podcast, tweeting about it all the time ever since the Kickstarter popped up last year. So I want to preface the video that you're going to see a little bit by kind of explaining what's actually going to be seen on this video. So normally when you hear the words demo, you think that it's a subsection of a real game. And that's not the case this time. So as you can see behind me, and you'll see it full screen here in a minute, what you're actually going to see, basically the Kickstarter was to fund a demo. And this demo is basically a proof of concept. So it's not a representation of the actual game that they're going to build once they get funding. So the demo was built as kind of a vertical slice of what they want to do in the game. And they're taking that to potential investors so that they can see what the game's all about. So what you're going to see is basically what they want the game to look like, but obviously they didn't have the millions of dollars that it's going to cost to fully flesh this game out. So fortunately, I was able to go down to North Carolina to visit the studio, got to talk to David Troy Sears, got to talk to a couple of the other guys from the studio, and the gameplay you're going to see is actually from the game session that I had when I was down at the studio. We played with a few other people locally and online. There were a few people that way too. So I just want everybody to realize that this is born of, obviously, SOCOM, and there's a lot of SOCOM fans out there. It's a very big community, and they're very passionate. And, you look in the forums and you see people kind of saying, oh, well, this isn't right, that isn't right. And I want to make sure that everyone understands what this is, and it's not a representation of the final game. It's what they want it to be. But they were on kind of a smaller budget. It sounds like they spent about 150 grand on this demo. They got it done in 6 months. It's fully functional, but it probably will never be released to the public. So I just want to make sure everyone realizes that before they take a look at it. But as you can see, it's a lot of fun to play. I'll be doing a write-up on psnation.com hopefully this week. But it's really fun to see it. It's really great to see it, and I'm hoping that they get the funding as soon as possible. The one thing that YouTube isn't going to show you is the smooth frame rate that this game has, or that the demo has. And it really is stunning to play a game like this at such a smooth frame rate. So what you're going to hear is actually I sat down with a few of the guys from the team and talked to them a little bit. This clip will also be on the podcast, but just going to overlay that over the gameplay so that you can kind of hear what's going on and kind of hear what they want to accomplish with this. So enough talking. Enjoy some footage of the H-Hour proof of concept demo. So I drove 17 hours to come down to beautiful North Carolina. It is lovely down here. In a small little loft above a Pilates workout place. And I'm here to talk about H-Hour World Elite with some of the gentlemen that work on the game. To my right, Mr. Sears, David Troy Sears.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
As he hides in the bushes as he does in the game. Kevin?
Yep, Kevin DiRispino.
And what do you do on the game?
I am a programmer.
A program? I heard you're the programmer of programmers.
Somewhat. I'm one of them.
And I found him laying in the bushes and shot him. And to my left, a voice that I think if you've ever heard if you've ever watched any of our PlayStation Home videos, or he's been on the podcast before a long time ago, our very good friend, Patrick Gross.
Hi there.
Oh, the voice.
What's going on?
The sexiest voice ever on a podcast. My favorite. So we just got done playing the demo that you built from the Kickstarter. This originally was Kickstarted, and the funds were to go toward building basically a workable demo to then try to secure funding for the full game. And I gotta say, I loved it. I did. I had a blast. When you guys said we were done, I'm like, aw. So let's talk a little bit about what we're playing, what the game is. So obviously you worked on some of these games in the past, a third-person tactical shooter. But just kind of go into your background a little bit, David, and tell us what H-Hour is all about.
My background?
Your background a little bit, yeah, just in case people don't know who you are. I mean, there's like 5 people that don't know who you are.
Sorry to say, that's impossible.
I know.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I've been making video games professionally for about 23 years now.
It's been that long?
Yeah, it feels that long.
But you're only 28.
Thank you. No, I've been around a while. I have degrees in film and radio and television production and English, so clearly the leap to games 23 years ago was an obvious one.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, but the first game I made professionally was as a designer to work with Harlan Ellison on I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which was generally considered by the gaming public and the game development community, which was much smaller at that time. It was considered impossible to adapt. So I didn't know what I was doing, but Cyber Dreams hired me, and the work I did with Harlan was good, and then Dreamers Guild went on to actually implement it and expand the design, and that thing won Best Adaptation of Linear Media to Interactive the year it came out. And
so is the trophy like about 10 feet tall, so you can fit that entire title on the bottom on the plaque?
No, it's just it's a square piece of glass. That's what it is. That was a pretty auspicious beginning. And then I went on to work with, celebrity luminaries such as Clive Barker on a game that never shipped because it was too far ahead of its time.
As most things that Clive Barker does.
Yeah. But I think I'm most famous or notorious for being the creative director and a principal designer on the SOCOM series.
Right.
Back in the day when consoles certainly weren't generally online, and there weren't that many multiplayer games. So, I worked with Zipper and, my cohort, Russ Phillips, who was our art director and lead artist on our demo for H-Hour, to make the, first broadband shooter for PlayStation 2.
And obviously people know what that series is. So, H-Hour is something that, popped up on Kickstarter, and I flipped out right away because the pedigree, behind it, and you behind it, and even some of the other principals. So we just got to play this demo. So it was a weird Kickstarter comparatively to a lot of the other ones where they normally go to Kickstarter and say, we want you to fund our game, and it's to fund the full game. So this one was a little bit different though. This was, we want to build a fully working demo to be able to show investors and use that to build the full game. And so talk about the timeline though, because you really seem to have done it kind of with a skeleton crew and really not with a lot of money, and you got it done, and I believe it's pretty much like, what, 99% done, or you consider it done right now?
Yeah, well, in game development, that last 1% is never done.
Well, exactly.
You could keep working on anything forever, but we're, for all intents and purposes, done today.
Cool.
And it was a very strange Kickstarter. I mean, it was... we were asking people to believe in an idea. Now, of course, this is an idea that a lot of people have had for a very, very long time, and they've been very, very vocal about it on various forums. But they wanted a game that brought back this classic gameplay style. Now, the interesting thing about making a military tactical team-based shooter is they're generally very expensive.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was reasonable to ask supporters to back a multi-million-dollar project because there are plenty of people who have a lot more money to spend on things like that.
True.
So we needed what is, seems like a lot of money. I mean, we asked for $200K through Kickstarter, and we exceeded that by about 52, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Which was amazing and blew my mind that many people would give that many dollars to fund a demo or a vertical slice or proof of concept, whatever you want to call it. So for us, we had a subset of that money. I mean, it wasn't the full 252K because Kickstarter takes like 10%, I guess.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it's like 10% or 5%, or it's significant. And then, of course, we really wanted high-end swag. I mean, we didn't, print crappy T-shirts. We had multicolor, high-quality shirts printed. And then all the shipping, particularly to our supporters internationally, was very expensive. So we have way, 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 way less than the amount that you see at the, goal achieved on the Kickstarter page. And, a AAA shooter requires, either a whole lot of time or a whole lot of money. So we didn't feel comfortable asking supporters to do that because, going into it, I basically wanted, like 10,000 people to pledge $5. I mean, something that nobody would feel was, too risky. But some people pledged thousands of dollars to get this made. Which sort of drove us during the development to, not waste a penny of it. In the end, I think we probably achieved, in terms of, what's playable and what you can see content-wise, we probably got, a 5-to-1 spend ratio. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly say that to make this at some of the studios where I've worked, or big publishers, it would have cost, $750,000 to do what we did with less than $170K in the final analysis.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing about Kickstarter, and I met a lot of really cool people through that process. And we're still in touch today, even though we finished the demo. We still talk to the backers when they reach out.
So how many backers did you get total?
Wow, 22,000 something.
Somewhere in the neighborhood, 2,700, I think, something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's insane. So that's where Kevin comes into the mix. You guys are building on Unreal Engine, correct?
Yeah, Unreal Engine 3.
So you're the lucky one that had to figure out all the technical details and get things working.
Oh yeah, lots of fun there.
It sounds like it was a blast. It was like just going to Six Flags every day, right?
Yeah. Well, this engine is probably made and worked on by like 100 people. And it's like me and one other guy coming in here trying to figure out 100 people's worth of work on how all this stuff connects and works and how to transition from this to this. And so lots of learning. And once we got over that hurdle, it was somewhat smooth sailing.
Nice. So what's the biggest hurdle you probably had, do you think?
Doors.
Or check boxes.
Those doors.
Because like we have doors destructible and like networking doors that are destructible and they blow up and somebody on the other side of the map isn't rendering that door, but they need to update that the door was destroyed and all this fun and whatever.
Wait a second. You mean that I could have shot him through the door instead of me opening the door and him shooting me when I was trying to get the hostage?
No. Like, so
okay.
If you place like C4 on a door on the other side of the map and it got destroyed, you got to like replicate that destruction on the other side of the map. And there's a lot of replication of what's relevant to you. Like if you're in the range of it, is it relevant? And
oh, man.
So there's a lot of trickery and hackery we do behind the scenes that you don't see.
So another reason why I never became a game developer, a coder, whatever you want to call it. And then Patrick, who we used to hear on podcasts all the time, and then I mistakenly thought was doing a job here that he's not. But what are you doing here, man?
I do everything. David has given me the call sign of Odd Job.
Which I changed today, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if we can say that on the...
that was from Beavis and Butthead, so...
Yeah. We'll tweet that out later. But
yeah,
anyway.
There we go.
No, I am... I guess the Odd Job thing kind of came from... I was kind of David's valet in a way when I first got here because I shadowed him. And I thought he'd made some kind of mistake. I came down and hung out, and I spoke with David a few times, did a few interviews with him. And then I get a phone call that they want me to come down here. I come down here, and you think these guys had a learning curve. All of a sudden, I'm not only am I trying to learn Unreal, but I'm trying to learn all the other stuff that these guys already have known for decades.
Right.
Whatever, so. But no, it's been an awesome thing. I do audio, some graphics. I voiced Connor Thomas in the demo.
It was so weird hearing you. Just a little bit of a pitch off. So you must have adjusted the pitch a little bit, but
yeah, I got into character.
I heard you in my ear, and I'm like, wait a second, what? Because I was trying to kill you.
But yeah, so no, it's been an amazing thing, and I've tried to tell everybody best I can how amazing this whole thing is. I'm really glad that it happened this way, though, because if I would have went to one of these big corporate studios, I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have learned as much, or I don't think I would have appreciated what I've learned.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm just glad to be here, and I'm glad you got to come down, man. This is the first time you and I have seen each other since like LA in
E3 2011, I think. Yeah. So, or 2012. So, and that's the thing, you know, Patrick's the one that kind of facilitated this, and I'm glad you guys were willing to let me come down and check it out. And obviously, I'll be writing a bunch of stuff up on the website. But I got to say, you know, it really does feel like it should. In my opinion, I got right into it. I didn't even invert like I usually do, and I was getting kills. And I kept telling them, you know, I was really worried that I was going to get here and not get even a single kill because it's just been so long since I've played a game like this. But it does. It feels great. The way you did the hostage is absolutely hilarious. You know, she falls down. Oh, I can't go any farther. So there's some great stuff there. Patrick showed me the little hidden unicorn before. Obviously, you have to have the unicorn.
All of them?
No, just one.
No, just the one.
Well, then there's 2 more.
Oh, really?
At least.
Oh, and now I can't go back and play. But it really does. It feels great. But the one thing that I was telling you guys before we were playing that just really grabbed me right away is the fact that it's such a nice, smooth frame rate now. You know, and it feels like these games that we've been playing lately, but it's that old school gameplay that we love so much that we haven't been able to do for a long time. So right now, you guys are done with the demo. Your man Tom is out and about. He's actually not even here today. He's out and about trying to secure some money for y'all, and you know, get the funding. And then, you know, when you get the funding, what's going to happen? You're obviously probably going to bring some more people online. You know, what's the next step for you guys?
Well, the sort of intermediate step is we're learning how to use Unreal 4.
If it ever downloads.
Yeah, still downloading.
We've been getting updates all day.
Eventually, we'll be learning Unreal 4 Monday. But yeah, we have a team of people that sort of spans this continent. We've got guys in and around Montreal. We've got guys in and around Seattle. And then we've got people here. So yeah, I mean, really, we just need the funding to bring these guys on full time.
That's
the
awesome.
design is ready. So yeah, it's just, you know, just add dollars, make game. That's what's going to happen.
So if anybody out there is looking to fund a video game, contact these guys on their Twitter, and I'm sure they'll get back to you right away. I don't think it'll be a hesitation.
And if you have any questions about the math, David, in immaculate detail, like he does everything, he basically showed you the math. He's like Goodwill Hunting, and he showed you the math of what it's going to take to get this game funded. So check out the blog if you haven't seen.
How many bitcoins? I'm just kidding.
Oh God,
like that's anything real. So I got to say, you know, again, thank you so much for allowing me to come down and check this out, and for taking the time out of your day. I mean, I've been kind of hanging out here all day, and
no, it was fun.
I really appreciate it, and I want to play it more now. Darn it! So if that tells you anything, and I'm not lying, if I didn't like it, I'd tell you. But I'm serious. I just enjoyed the heck out of it. I think you've got something really special there, and there's no way this isn't going to get funded somehow. There's no way. It's that good, and it scratches an itch that a lot of people have that nothing else fulfills right now at all. So, I'm being serious. If anybody hears this and has the money, fund these guys.
Wow, thank you.
Because I want to play the full game.
Well, I agree with your position 100%.
Oh, you're going to go out on a limb, huh?
Yeah,
all right.
I'll back that up.
So hopefully maybe in a couple months after you get the funding, because it's going to happen. I'm just going to be positive about that right away. We'd love to have you back on the podcast. You know, we'll do a call real quick and get you on and get some updates from you guys. If they have any questions, I mean, you have a couple things. You have the blog, which is at what address?
SOFstudios.com.
SOFstudios.com. Okay, and then you have your Twitter at SOF Studios. You have a Facebook page, so you can look it up there. But you know, and check out the YouTube channel. You guys just put a trailer out, like I think 3 days ago, with a bunch of video from a big place that, like a test session you guys had, and it's awesome.
It was the international gameplay test that they did, which was really exciting because people from all over the planet are playing the game. So.
And it was a great video. I mean, it showed some awesome gameplay, and there was some funny stuff in there too. So that's what this kind of gameplay is all about, and it's just getting on with your friends and playing. And No, but it really is, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the full game. Like I told you before, I mean, I've backed 2 Kickstarters total in my life, and this is one of them. And it's because I believe in the game, and it's because I want to play this game, and that's why I believe in it so much, and that's why I made it such a point to drive all the way down here and meet with you guys and hang out. Plus, I get to hang out with my buddy Patrick for a little while, so that was a nice fringe benefit, but. The best of luck to you guys, and I can't wait to see some updates from you all, and it's going to be awesome. I can't say anything more about it. It is. It really. I had a great time with it.
Wow. Well, thanks. We're glad you came out and enjoyed it.
Awesome. Any final words, gentlemen?
Cheese curds.
Oh.
I don't know. Hey. Have a good one.
And with that, we'll talk to you soon, folks.